Hello, this is GotW3 PES, and it's another game of the week. This is a mock Master League I've set up. It's probably the team I will be using when the final squads come out and I start one for proper. Fiorentina. I think they're an interesting side. They've got a lot of new players. They've got talented midfielders like Pizarro and Aquilani, and they've got a top striker in Jovetic. They're not abundant in blistering pace, but they do have good technique. Maybe I'll be able to buy a few more pacey players for them. That would give me a few more options. We're going with 3-5-2 today, which I've seen them play in real life against Inter Milan, and they're playing quite good football even though they lost that game. They're near the top of the table, and they're always a fairly big club, and they'll always be in and around the top of the table. I thought it would be someone a bit different to use. Given the licenses in PES, it's limiting. I'm not really a big fan of playing in La Liga because it's such a two-horse race. I like the Bundesliga, but I never get the chance to use the likes of Dortmund online because of the licensing. So it steers me towards Serie, I'll say that. The tactical nature of PES as well also suits the way Serie plays out. There's always a lot of tactical tinkering going on in this league. So here we are. It's a difficult trip to the Stadio Olimpico. The second trip actually we made, because we've already been to Lazio and got a 0-0. We're playing fairly well, but yet to get the first win actually. So, and there's a chance for Roma. He's just put it wide. I've tried to update the Fiorentina squad as much as possible, but there's a few players who aren't in the game, like Borja Valero and a couple of the other players they took from Villarreal. So I've done the best I can to make the squad as relevant as possible, so that when I do the full Master League, it will be similar players I'm using. So Roma having the better of it so far. Fiorentina just trying to find their way in, but they're standing off a little bit too much. But that's a good tackle. And they're having to play their way up from deep, the way they've set themselves up here. Obviously be important for those wing backs to stay wide and to keep giving them service, because else they'll become very predictable if they try to play through the middle. Compact Italian defences are a very difficult thing to come up against if you just intend to play through the middle of the pitch. So here we go. That's a good long pass there, and it's going to turn the defence around, but they've just managed to get through. They've handled everything Roma have thrown at them so far. Sensible play here from Fiorentina. Not making any inroads just yet. Just caught in there. Not a lot of room in the middle of the park, as I alluded to just a minute ago. So they really have to get the wing backs involved, like here. Just switch the play as often as possible. That's one of the things you see from Juventus a lot of the time. That's why they've been so successful. They've got good players in the middle like Pirlo and Vidal, but teams can't get too tight because they can always bring the wing backs like Lichtsteiner and Asamoah, and so they've just got that double threat. That's the reason why possibly the 3-5-2 is slightly in vogue at the moment in Italy. Inter Milan playing it in their win last night against AC Milan. I thought AC Milan were a little unlucky, but at the same time I thought the team selection was rather strange, and I'm not expecting Massimo Allegri to be there in a couple of weeks' time, because I think it looks to me as they're a team in dire straits. And yes, they've lost a lot of good players, but it's not as bad as is being made out. They've still got good players like Emmanuelson and Nocerino. Pazzini's good. So yes, it's difficult to lose probably your two best players, but you've really got to look at what you've got and stick with your strongest team. I don't think playing Bojan up front on his own was a very wise decision. He's not an out-and-out striker, and Pazzini's not really in top form, but you need someone there who's going to snatch the opportunities, and I think he should have started last night. So this is Romulo, and he's bringing it inside. They're trying to play their way through here, Fiorentina, but Roma looking solid and compact, and the game is stretched here. But that's good defensive play. Fiorentina just slowly finding their way in here. Keeping the ball and nurturing it. They're not in a hurry to build up their attacks. It seems to really accurately reflect the pace of Serie in this game. I don't think FIFA really did that. It's just too fast. Yeah, in a lot of situations. Maybe a Premier League game when both sides are going for the win comes somewhere near that pace, but a lot of leagues are at this sort of tempo, and I think they've got the gameplay and the speed very accurate this year. I tried going down to -1 the other night, and it did feel too slow. So it's 0-0 at half time, and Fiorentina taking care of the ball, but they haven't really had a lot of chances here, just a couple half chances. I've set this Fiorentina side up a similar way to Juventus because of their success in Serie, the 3-5-2, and just the compactness is up to 14, which is pretty high by my standards, and it's a real sort of short passing possession game. So just trying to move teams around and eventually make those inroads. But can they do it here? That was a good chance. It looked like a deflection. And yes, it's a corner. Aquilani to take. It's an in-swinger. It's well taken, but Roma player heads it out. And it's going to be a cross here. Aquilani takes it with his left foot, and it's just missed the striker. Long ball up, but Fiorentina starting to get a foothold in this game now. Just playing simply and giving the Roma players a hard time, chasing the ball all the time. They can't really get out at the moment. There was a foul there, I think, but he's got away with it. Referees are very lenient on this game. It's not doesn't go along with my stereotype of Pro Evolution. Usually you can't get away with a lot, but this year it's a bit more physical, and I think maybe they've gone a little overboard with that, but just slightly. Maybe just needs reining in a little bit, and there's a chance there. They're starting to get into the game, and it's not a bad try actually. So goal kicks to Kallenberg, and you'd say this is quite a good fixture to pick. Two fairly evenly matched sides with similar standing in the league. Roma would probably like to think they're the bigger club, but I think Fiorentina have a little more momentum in the real world at the moment. Roma just in a little bit of a dodgy patch in terms of their standards, but that's a good chance, and the keeper's just held on to it. It looked like it was going to roll in there. So it's out wide and just bringing the tempo down and trying to regain control. Out to the wing back, just trying to stretch them, and yes, he's regained possession. So just trying to dominate the game here and waiting for the chance to come. Much like the Noah and the Whale song. Well, Roma have defended very well here in typical Italian fashion. They're also looking dangerous on the counter, and they are being restricted to the counter attack at the moment, but they're trying away and they're getting their chances. You'd probably say they're making as many chances as Fiorentina, but Fiorentina trying to play the football here. So down the wing, this is Romulo, and he's just going to come in, not doing anything rash here, but just trying to play through Roma a bit too much. But they're always there to intercept and break up the counter-attacks that Roma are attempting to make. Some really good possession play here, but if they can't make chances, they're not going to win a lot of games this season, and as of now they haven't won a game yet. Came close in the previous game against Juventus. Scored the first goal from a corner. That was actually the first goal I scored in the 5th game, but conceded a disappointing equaliser. So just working their way around here, and this is a really good spell for them, and there's a chance. They're definitely coming into this now. They took a while from the beginning to settle in, but they're really dominant now. And Roma just about keeping them out, and they're maintaining a threat on the counter-attack as well. But they have a chance here, but that's offside. I like the ability to control the other player from the free kicks, because in those free kicks you really don't want to be in that view where it's all sort of on the ground, and especially when you're playing online. So here we go. It's to the left wing back, Pasquale, and that's a lovely white goal, and it's probably well deserved. They've not made a ton of chances, but their patient play has paid off here, and the left wing back scores of all people. And this is a vintage performance, probably my best so far for the cameras. And yeah, that's a good move. Just Roma just sitting too deep and getting outnumbered with the wing backs coming into play, and that goal was coming. So a few changes here now just to protect the lead. There's tired players here. I've not done a lot of rotating. The only time I did rest some players was a game in which I got defeated 3-0. I changed most of the team, and I really paid for it. Yep, he's going with 2 defensive midfielders. You just have holding what they have now. It's very much in the nature of this game for teams to score a goal out of nowhere. So no risks are being taken. Stefan Savic, formerly of Manchester City, didn't do great there, hence why he's not in my first team, but it's good to freshen a few things up in the defence, just to make sure players aren't tired and losing concentration. So yeah, it's bordering on arrogant now from Fiorentina. They just know they can hold on to the ball. Not a lot of pressure from Roma, You don't see a lot of pressing in general in Serie A, but try to do a fair bit amongst my team. But there was a foul along the line somewhere there. De Rossi, and there's myself, the gaffer. They maybe look a little bit like Carlo Ancelotti in the game, which is a compliment in some ways. He's a great manager, I think, anyway. Even though he got dismissed questionably at Chelsea, but I'm not sure as a 22-year-old I really want to look like Carlo Ancelotti. And it's 1-0 full time. I'm pleased with that. And just to give you an idea, that was my first win of the season and clearly my best performance. So if you like this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.